Ladies and gentlemen, is William Ruto setting up Raila Odinga? That is the question which most Kenyans are currently asking. Because earlier today, William Ruto addressed the nation. And in his address to the nation, William Ruto shocked the entire country when he announced the cancellation of Adani deals. Is he setting up Raila Odinga? That's exactly what I want us to interrogate in this particular video. But first of all, let us go back a bit. Sometimes back, Raila Odinga donated 4 experts to serve in Kenya Kwanza government. And 2 of the 4 experts, that is Opiyo Wandayi and John Mbadi, were assigned 2 critical dockets. The 2 comes from the Luo Nation. John Mbadi was appointed as the Cabinet Secretary for Treasury, which means in this Adani deal, whether the energy one or whether the JKA, John Mbadi's signature was going to be appended. Then Raila Odinga also nominated Opiyo Wandayi, who was then appointed as the Cabinet Secretary for Energy, which means in this Adani deal, Opiyo Wandayi was going to play a critical role. So earlier today, ahead of William Ruto's address, Opiyo Wandayi appeared before Parliamentary Select Committee. And Opiyo Wandayi defended Adani. And in fact, he was very clear as a Cabinet Secretary that the deal was still on.
The question is, would these emerging reports in any way affect the delivery of this project? We can't tell. Why? Because they are not related to this project. We can't even vote for their veracity from where we sit. And therefore we'll be engaging in speculation, Honorable Chair. The second limb of that question is, could these bribery or corruption claims have a bearing on our own process? To my knowledge, Honorable Chair, there has been no case of corruption or bribery insofar as this PIP of Adani Energy Solutions is concerned up to now, up to this very moment.
Because you can't also convince me that William Ruto's statement was prepared today, when he was the president, contradicting Opiyo Wandayi. If anything, probably by the time the president's speech was being prepared, they knew Opiyo Wandayi was going to appear before this parliamentary committee. Opiyo Wandayi would have been briefed that we are going to cancel the Adani deal. And that's why I'm asking, is William Ruto setting up Raila Odinga? First of all, let us listen to William Ruto cancelling that Adani deal. Because for me, in this particular video, I want to reveal to you guys why the deal has been cancelled and whether Raila Odinga is being played. Listen in to William Ruto.
I have stated in the past and now reiterate today that in the face of undisputed evidence or credible information on corruption, I will not hesitate to take decisive action. Accordingly, I now direct, in furtherance of the principles enshrined in Article 10 of the Constitution on transparency and accountability, and based on new information provided by investigative agencies and partner nations, that the procuring agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for the JKIA expansion public-private partnership transaction. Let me repeat this for clarity. I have said that because of the information that has been provided to us by partner nations. I have directed agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for JKI expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as the recently concluded Ketrago transmission in public partnership and immediately commence the process of onboarding alternative partners, because these are important projects.
Now that's William Ruto cancelling the Adani deal. And the question is he setting up Raila Odinga? Because we all know that at some point, Raila Odinga was actually forced to come out to defend Adani.
Investors, in line with the PPP Act, we all have misgivings about how the current proposed PPPs concerning the AKA and power distribution have been processed, which has resulted in a raging debate over the involvement of the Indian firm in the airport and energy sector projects. Unfortunately, these misgivings have also resulted in a lot of misinformation regarding the investors who have made the PPP's proposals. I have had a chance to interact with the PPP proposals in question. It is my duty to state what I know about them. When I was the Prime Minister of Kenya, I was introduced to the company and its activities by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while he was then the Chief Minister of the state of Gujarat. Indeed, Prime Minister Modi organized for a Kenya government mission to visit Gujarat, and I had the opportunity to visit this company's infrastructure projects in that state that included a port, a power plant, a railway line, and an airstrip developed out of what was a swamp donated by the government of India. I'm talking about Adani group of companies. I also visited the city of Mumbai to see the electricity projects set up by the company, where it serves over 13 million consumer meters in metropolitan Mumbai and the industrial hub of Mundra Special Economic Zone. Adani Energy Solution Limited has a cumulative transmission network of 21,783 circuit kilometers of power transmission lines and 61,687 megavolts ampere transmission capacity. The company owns more than energy infrastructure than Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania combined.
So in this video, I want us to figure out why William Ruto has cancelled that Adani deal and whether he's playing Raila Odinga. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States for America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into your Mpesa account, Airtel Money account, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in. The Adani issue has been one of the most emotive issues in the Republic of Kenya. Kenyans have been demanding for the cancellation of Adani Group. In fact, when William Ruto was announcing the cancellation of that project, one thing that shocked me the most was the fact that the members of parliament were actually clapping for William Ruto. And most of these members of parliament are on record defending the Adani deal, which means in Kenya, the members of parliament are going with William Ruto. If William Ruto says yes to Adani, that's where they're headed. If he says no, that's where they're also headed. So that surprised me. But at some point, Raila Odinga was forced, I don't know by what or after what, to defend Adani, which for me was not the right move for Raila Odinga. Because even someone like the former deputy president, I believe that one of the reasons he was kicked out was because he refused to own Adani deal.
Mimi sijui president shida yake na mimi ni gani, lakini mimi najua watu wengi sana karibu na yeye hawataki mambo yangu kwa sababu ya kusema ukweli. Juzi nimekuwa pale Kitale, huyu mheshimiwa senator anaitwa Onyonga akaongea mambo ya ndani, akapiga serikali sana. Mimi sikusema kitu, nikanyamaza. Mtu mmoja ya serikali tuko naye akanipigia simu kunisomea, kwa nini hukutetea serikali? Akasema siwezi tetea kitu sijui. Nitatetea namna gani? Mimi siko hapo. Hizo vitu ndio naletea mimi shida. Kwa sababu angetaka niende pale nianze kugangana na senator kusema hii Adani iko sawa. Sasa mimi nitasema iko sawa namna gani? Mimi sijahusishwa, sielewi, na nikisikiza Wakenya hawaitaki, na mimi ni mtu ya watu. Mimi natetea ile kitu ambayo iko sawa. Ile inafuatana na katiba na sheria. Ile ambayo inafuatana na ile ahadi tulipatia Wakenya. Sasa ukinisukuma niende nitetee hiyo, mimi hapo nakuwa na shida.
First of all, let us figure out why William Ruto cancelled the Adani deal. Number one, I think, and I strongly believe, it is as a result from the pressure from the US government. In fact, someone was telling me that the main reason why the former ambassador, US ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman, was forced to resign was as a result of this Adani deal. He failed in her role to notify the US government. Remember, let me just read for you something here, which someone posted, one of my friends. Manjala. Let me just read for you what he posted, because very, very important. He posted a very important information. This is what he posted. Wanjala Makanda. Highly placed sources indicate that United States and the UK government might place travel restrictions to some individuals serving in Kenyan government and who have been involved in signing fraudulent deals and receiving huge kickbacks. You saw the head of top intelligence institutions from UK and USA last month when files on Adani were ready. The travel advisories, asset freeze, and other economic sanctions on these characters might come as soon as next week. And the targets are not far from this post. If true, then it will badly damage the image and the profile of Raila Odinga and his people in government. And I can assure you that it will injure and puncture his bid for the AUC, and it will be untenable to have a chairman who can't fly out of Africa. So it is clear that the US government had a role in the cancellation of this. But let us not get into that much. Let us get on something that happened in the US. Let me read for you this story on CNN. Billionaire Gautam Adani indicted in New York on bribery charges. That is the most important thing. In fact, that is what William Ruto used to cancel the deal. It says, Indian billionaire Gautam Adani and other executives were indicted in New York on Wednesday by US prosecutors for their alleged roles in year-long multi-million-dollar bribery and fraud scheme involving plans to develop a major solar plant. So, the US government had a role And William Ruto had to play balls. Because the person who used to cover for William Ruto, the rogue ambassador, Meg Whitman, has already resigned. So that's number two, the pressure from the church. If you listen to William Ruto's statements or address to the nation today, his approach was to paint a picture of a man who is listening. So probably because of the pressure from the church, the statements, the pressure to cancel that deal, he heeded to it. Because the church actually were coming for the neck of William Ruto. And I'm 100% sure William Ruto would not have wanted a situation where the church were going to go for his head like that. Number three, I also tend to think that it's part of William Ruto's strategy to win back the confidence of Kenyans. And that's why I'm asking the question whether William Ruto is setting up Raila Odinga. You know, all along William Ruto knew, and someone once told me that William Ruto is a very shrewd politician. And what he's going to do is that William Ruto is going to increase the taxes, increase all these other things. Then 1 or 2 years to the election, he's going to start reducing those taxes on the account that the economy has stabilized. This is what is happening. Kenyans have made noise, and then William Ruto comes and cancels this. Raila Odinga has already supported it. Where does that leave Raila Odinga? Most Kenyans will be like, William Ruto is the one who has actually cancelled the Adani deal. And of course, number four, the Adani had been given a very bad name by Kenyans. So which means whatever they were going to touch, there was no way Kenyans were going to support. Whether they were going to be a new angel from heaven in the name of Adani, I can assure you, Kenyans were not going to accept it. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is William Ruto playing Raila Odinga? Number one, Raila Odinga already dragged himself into this matter. I've always asked myself, why was Raila Odinga talking or defending Adani? Because now the US government have already indicted Adani, which means they have conducted their investigations. They have confirmed that this company, they're not following the best practices. Raila Odinga came to their defense. So for William Ruto to come and say, I've cancelled, Raila Odinga's name is already tainted. That's number one. Number two, the fact that Opiyo Wandayi was not briefed about William Ruto's change, shows you that someone somewhere is running this ministry. Either the permanent secretary or William Ruto did not really take him seriously. Otherwise, as the cabinet secretary, he ought to have been briefed. One of the members of parliament was telling me that by morning, they already knew that the deal was going to be cancelled. And of course, the truth is, William Ruto is going to take the credit for the cancellation. So, in my view, the biggest casualty who will carry the embarrassment of all this Adani cancellation is Raila Odinga and his expert Opiyo Wandayi, and to some extent, John Mbadi. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my take. Until next time, Makwiny, bye-bye.